All right, Todd Monken is going to be interviewing at some NFL jobs. This is something that we talked about last week, and obviously a week ago or sometime before this video, it looked like Todd was still going out and about. This was on Friday, so now it's Monday. Todd was still recruiting with Kirby Smart, and it's hard to know completely where this goes, but it sure does look like Todd Monken has very serious interest in. Some of the NFL jobs that are out there. The two that are being discussed more than any are Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Both situations are not ideal in terms of quarterback situations because it doesn't look like Lamar Jackson is going to play again in Baltimore. He may get franchised. That's possible, but it certainly doesn't look like Tom Brady is going to be back with Tampa Bay. And you've got a coach on the hot seat there already coming into the season. So we'll just see what happens in terms of those two positions. Just because you're interviewing doesn't mean that you're going to get it or take it, but it means there's interest there. And the NFL has certainly been pursuing Todd Monken here lately. That's an important thing for Georgia because the question is, where would you go next? And that's a good question. Hey, for a limited time, our members, our listeners are going to get 50% off a $20 value or more in delivery fees from DoorDash. Make sure you get download the DoorDash app. The link is down below. Enter the code DAWG, DAWG. That's 50% off of a $20 value, $0 in delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app and enter that code DAWG, just like dog post. Don't forget the code is DAWG, DAWG for 50% off, $20 value, $0 in delivery fees with DoorDash. Subject to change. Subject to change. The terms apply. Make sure, y'all, that you're taking advantage of that offer. Whether you're in Atlanta, Athens, kind of Savannah, wherever. DoorDash is everywhere. It's awesome. Take advantage of it. It's Monday. It's nasty outside too. Um, I would order it. And we might do that tonight, and we'll just see. But in terms of Todd's situation, um, it doesn't look nearly as good as it did a few weeks ago, or even a couple of days ago. Um, and Georgia though has shown that it can replace coordinators and go on and continue to have success. It just replaced their defensive coordinator a season ago and went on to win the national championship. But those folks defensively, there's got to be an acknowledgement that Kirby Smart has had a lot to do with what's going on at Georgia, right? I mean, do you really win two national championships without Kirby's defense really mattering a lot? And a season ago, Georgia's defense was better than it was this year. For the bulk of the time in this year, have felt like the 2021 team uh, was better than the 2022 team. I'm not sure I'm going to continue to stay in that view of the world. Um, the 22 team really just the way they finished was exceptional, and the fact that they were undefeated that matters too. I don't know if this year's Ohio State was as good as last year's Alabama. I would say they were probably when they played Georgia, they were better in a way. But you never saw Georgia sleepwalking in big games. That just didn't happen for them this season. So when they had trouble, it was on the road or I just finished writing in Double Dogs. Make sure you're picking this up today, by the way. A lot of folks are getting both Double Dogs and Dog Instruction. There they are. But when I was wrapping up Kent State, writing about Georgia's game with Kent State, that was a tough game for Ladd McConkey. He had the punt. So Georgia scored in that game to go up 7-0. Excuse me, that one was a snoozer too, the Kent State game. And then what happened was a punt that Ladd dropped right there at the 10-yard line or whatever it was, or 15, and of course Kirby was all over him, and Kent State goes backward 2 yard but kicks a field goal 7-3, and then Georgia throws an interception, and then Ladd McConkey is stripped on a really great play by the kid from Kent State. But anyway, I say all that to say this, you know Georgia still scored 39 points in that game. They didn't play well, but they scored 39 points. They're playing well and they're scoring because of Todd Monken. And anyway, I was writing about that in Double Dogs. Make sure you're picking it up today. The link is down below. It's an 80-page look at the Dogs 2022 National Championship season. Todd Monken was on such a tear during 22 that you're going to miss that if he leaves. You just are. And that's all there is to it. I don't know where they would go with a replacement. Some stuff's not quite adding up right, though, in terms of him leaving. Certainly, the interviewing makes a lot of sense. But going out to visit a commitment, that's just not something that you do if you're typically leaving for sure. Um, I did some reporting in 2011 with Stacey Searles was going. It was early 2011. Georgia had just come off of the 2010 season, and it was a perilous time, frankly. And Stacey Searles' last phone call that he received was in Memphis, and he was on a recruiting trip, and that was the last phone call that number made. He took the position at Texas right after that, and uh, you don't typically see folks. Um, you don't typically see folks uh, continuing with their job if they're about to leave it. But we're just going to see what happens. I mean, that's just one thing. I mean, I think I find it tremendously odd that he would go up there to Connecticut and visit a committed quarterback for the 2024 season, the next cycle, um, if he knew at that time that he was leaving. Things can change. That happens all the time. That's what I was talking about on Friday. Was we don't know what in the world happens after time out there. But it is a little bit odd that would be the case. But I've seen stranger things in college football in terms of coaches and so forth. I mean, the one thing that's odd to me right now that sticks out immediately is that Jimbo would hire Bobby Petrino. I mean, that's quite the duo over there in Texas at Texas in College Station at Texas A&M. Well, we'll just see how that goes. Something's got to get jump started. If I'm Texas A&M, I take a very serious look at if Jimbo is the correct coach for me moving forward in a world where Texas A&M is going to be confronted with a maybe even more difficult path to the SEC championship. Everybody is going to have a more difficult path. You're not going to have divisions anymore. Alabama and Georgia are going to play each other, I think, at this stage every other year. And then to add to that, they will play, Texas and Oklahoma every other year. They'll play, there's a lot of things that are in the way for the future, and that's why, with Monken's situation, it's important for there to be some stability there. I think, you're returning a quarterback at minimum, one of them, in Carson Beck, who's been under this system for 4 seasons. You also have Brock Vandergriff, who's been in it in 3. So, excuse me, this will be Carson Beck's 4th season. This will be Brock Vandergriff's third, and that's a lot of data that these guys understand, and the fact too that Todd Monken has been so good. And his track record as an offensive coordinator in the last 12 years in college has been exceptional. The question is, because the money is not, is not the, to me, is not the issue here. He probably will make, $2.5, $3 million a year should he stay at Georgia. But does he want the lifestyle that goes along with being a college coach versus being an NFL coach? A college coach is going to have to deal with college stuff, recruiting, developing. In the NFL, you're really scheming, and that fits a lot of these guys better than college. But I have to tell you, I mean, Todd Monken has been an exceptional college offensive coordinator, period. And we'll just see what happens. Thanks for watching.